Hi everyone, I'm Charlotte from Giltedge Africa. I'm based in the beautiful city of Cape Town, and today I'll be interviewing our long-standing friend and partner, James Fernie, who is from Uthando. Uthando is a non-profit organization that raises funds for community development in South Africa. They are an award-winning company and run culturally sensitive philanthropic tours and experiences for clients in Cape Town. These tours allow clients to learn about local township life in Cape Town, whilst also supporting the very important projects that Uthando works with. Clients get to meet and interact with local, mostly unsung community heroes, as well as meet locals going about their daily lives. So thanks very much for joining me today, James. Let's start with the name Uthando. What does Uthando mean?
Good morning, Charlotte, and thank you as always to Giltedge for raising awareness and the important Uthando flag. Uthando is a Zulu or Xhosa word, which are the two biggest African languages in South Africa. It means love, something the world needs a lot of at the moment.
Yes, absolutely. And James, when did you start Uthando, and what was your inspiration for starting it?
So Uthando, we started in 2008. We became operational. The company was registered in 2007, but essentially we've been running since March 2008. And the inspiration behind Uthando was really to highlight these incredible stories in South Africa of truly remarkable people doing amazing things, and to offer the tourism industry an opportunity to support those community development initiatives while also raising money for them. And very importantly, being able to offer international visitors and also local visitors an opportunity to visit these very broad range of community projects which were operating throughout the Western Cape area.
Okay, fantastic. So really just giving tourists the opportunity and then also obviously directly benefiting your projects, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So
it's the kind of, was the kind of, experience to visit programs that had never before had exposure in the tourism industry. I think that's an important element of it.
Yeah. And so just in light of that, what are some of the projects that Uthando is involved in and how are they making a difference in people's lives?
So vast urban agricultural programs like Abalimi Bezekaya, which has been around for longer than 30 years and is engaging many thousands of micro farmers in these beautiful, expansive vegetable gardens, which are obviously feeding, local communities, to youth development programs like Zama Dance and Dance for All, which are providing dance opportunities for children in the townships after school. Some really sophisticated dance projects, music schools, choirs, urban agricultural programs, as I mentioned, refugee programs, early childhood development, really just a very broad spectrum of community development projects. We're very proud of particularly our early childhood development, which is preschool, essentially, where they are offering preschool education. And as a result of our tourism support, we've been able to actually build 5 preschools in the last few years.
Yeah,
so,
that's incredible. So really making a difference to learning, especially in much younger children, which is so important.
Absolutely.
And James, what would you say is the toughest part of your job?
I think the toughest part is probably trying to convey the message of just the scale of these incredible, remarkable people. When I'm out in the townships, when we are out in the townships with clients, they are so inspired by the quality and the level of these community projects. And I wish I could share that message with greater passion than what I do. It's like once people see these projects, they are so inspired by them, or they meet the people that started these programs or are running these programs. And I think the toughest part is just being, I wish I just had a much bigger platform to be able to promote the truly amazing work, and for people to understand that even a small contribution can go so far, can have such big impact. And that is really, for me, what is truly important in life. You know, is connecting these dots and creating the exposure and then the benefit to everybody concerned. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know just reading some of your reviews online that clients have shared, you know, it's incredible how you've touched their lives and how inspired they have been, as you say, and then in turn they are able to touch other people's lives. So I think it is so important that you get that exposure that you need.
And I think a lot of those reviews have to do with the fact that the experiences are so authentic.
Yeah.
People think they're going on an inverted commas township tour, and they end up in the townships watching kids doing classical ballet or playing classical music or walking around these truly expansive, beautiful vegetable gardens. They are the epitome of inspirational human stories.
Absolutely.
And to be able to convey all of that, you know, it can be an enormous challenge.
I'm sure. And James, what has stood out as one of the most significant experiences for you at Uthando?
Without doubt, I would say it's the connection of kindred spirits. Uthando is not just about helping or money. It's truly connecting people. And the fact that we as Uthando, myself and Kolani, my colleague, we get invited to, you know, ceremonies of the local community projects. We are seen by the seniors, for example, as sons and grandsons of the seniors projects that we work with. They don't see us as just another non-profit. We are a part of them. We are connected to them. Yeah. And I would say the same goes for the tour operators that we work with and the many thousands of clients who are on WhatsApp with me, who become friends, who reach out, you know, on a regular basis to see how we're doing. These deep personal connections and relationships, surely at the end of the day, exemplifies what Uthando means. Love. Absolutely. That's what Uthando means. And we feel the love. Yeah. And we hopefully give out the love, and that resonates very sincerely with people, both local people as well as from all around the world. Yes, definitely. And you're keeping those connections alive by connecting with them all the time and updating them on the projects and the people that they've met, which is absolutely fantastic. Yeah. And James, if you could have absolutely any dream for Uthando, what would that be? Well, to continue on the path of becoming a global movement for change and bringing about the world that is simpler, more loving, more connected, and being able to help on a much bigger scale, I think, at the end of the day. Yeah. Okay, and then of course, in the current times, how has the COVID-19 pandemic affected the Uthando communities that you're working in? I'm sure there have been significant effects. Sure. Well, many people and community projects that were relying on Uthando for monthly income, initially we were all, as the tours were being cancelled, obviously, we were extremely concerned about that income disappearing. But as a result of the relationships that we have, and particularly with people that have traveled with us from countries like the United States and England, people have really rallied around to help. And we have been supporting many of the community projects. The support has continued. But let's face it, the economic impact of the COVID-19 crisis has been incredible. The levels of starvation are certainly rising, and the community projects that we're working with have shifted into providing feeding schemes, emotional support, and operating as centers for emergency support. So they have transitioned from relying on the tourism to support themselves to actually supporting their broader communities.
Yeah, so that brings me to the next question, which is what have you been doing with Uthando and your partners during the lockdown to obviously support these communities?
Yeah, so we've been extremely busy on social media, generating actually fairly significant amounts of money. As the crisis hit, particularly, we invested a lot of money into the urban micro farms. And those farms are now reaping the benefits of that, producing huge amounts of organic vegetables, which are really feeding local communities. We have been supporting animal protection associations like the Uthando Animal Clinic and the Cart Horse Association. Certainly the 3 seniors programs. We have been supplementing the government pensions, because the pensions are really feeding or supporting multi-generational families. And then also the early childhood development centers and schools like Crystal House School set up a particular financial contribution scheme where they were providing direct funding to the most at-risk families attending the school. And since COVID-19, Uthando has supported, I think, in the region of 260 families on a month-to-month basis during the whole crisis. Organizations like The Big Issue, they have about 100 vendors who were unable to sell their magazines to the public. Uthando has supported financial contributions to each of those 100 vendors during the entire crisis. It's very hard to kind of give you an overall quantity of, which projects and how many people we're impacting, but it is many thousands of people.
Yeah, so your reach is very, very far and very wide.
Yeah, and of course, feeding schemes.
Yeah,
from Masipumalele across the metro all the way to, Makassar, we have been supporting emergency feeding schemes.
Yeah. Great. And then James, just a last question to finish off. What do you miss most during the lockdown time, and what will you do first when it's over?
Well, from a work point of view, we're missing the tours, and we are missing the joy of taking people out every day and, connecting people and the whole social aspect that goes along with that. Personally, I am missing nature. My soul food was hiking every week and walking on the beach. And so the very first thing that I will do is go for a hike on the mountain with our hiking club and a walk on the beach.
Fantastic. I think a lot of people are missing the outdoors and just being able to be free and do what they want to do. But thank you very much, James, for your time. It's inspiring to hear all your stories, and obviously what you're doing is amazing work, and we really thank you for your time, and we wish you all the best, obviously, in this very, very difficult time, and then also going forward with all your projects.
Thank you, Charlotte, and I wish everybody at Giltedge and all of your clients and travelers all the best in the weeks and months ahead, and hopefully we see you all soon on the travel plans.
Great. Thanks very much, James.
Thank you, Charlotte. Take it easy.
You too. Bye.